Oh dear. Looks like I printed the wrong speech here. Just kidding, Mom. Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, parents, siblings, extended family, friends, acquaintances, and anybody who might be here by mistake. Thank you for your support these last 4 years, or perhaps 5 or 6, and thank you for joining us for this special milestone. Dr. Allison, Pastor Kelly, and Mr. Williams, thank you for graciously agreeing to address the class of 2010 this weekend. Graduates, we volunteered during the 25th anniversary Project Impact. We celebrated enrollment topping 1,000 students. We honored Dr. Smith's 10th year as college president. We even endured the coldest early October in Lincoln's history. And now the collegiate journey of 1,000 steps is coming to a close. But don't worry, because the journey of thousands and thousands of dollars continues. 5 years ago, my brother stood here and delivered his presidential speech. And in September, I asked him if he had any advice for me. His first suggestion, start on the speech as early as possible, which is a good theory. But as a true college student, I successfully procrastinated to starting it last week and finishing it last night. My brother's second pearl of wisdom was to, quote, do your best to win almost anything goes for the final senior beatdown. And we started our career with much promise. We finished second our freshman year, and thus began the downward spiral. The second year we tied for third, which is out of 4 teams last. And then we placed in the bottom 2 the following 2 years, losing to that pesky junior class that is like a rash that won't go away. But this is our graduation. So consider this our trophy for almost anything goes. And yes, it is a trophy from an elementary school spelling bee. August 17, 2006, my first official day as a college student. As a local boy, I already knew the campus and a lot of the people, so I strode with a swagger to my inaugural class, public speaking. The professor, Mrs. Menard, or is it Mrs. Mesnard? Of course, this was before I felt comfortable calling teachers by their first name, and before I heard the explanation of Michelle's last name about 5 times. As I approached the classroom, the door was already shut. That's strange. I entered and saw the professor, Mr. Blake. Even stranger. I scanned the classroom and found a familiar face, Sean Dale. You may know him. He attended Union for a while. Mr. Blake began class introductions, and I slowly realized I was in the wrong class. I quietly stood up, slinked out of the room, as Mr. Blake, of course, thanked me for visiting. And I found the correct classroom. I later discovered that my cameo was in editing, which, ironically, I would take the following fall. So my college career commenced with speeches and now finishes with one, here at commencement, a speech at College View Church that I avoided 8 years ago when I refused to be my 8th grade class president. Not that I am fearless now, certainly not, but I believe Union has instilled me with one trait above all others, and that is confidence. And wherever you go from here, I hope you go with confidence. Confidence doesn't mean arrogance. It's defined by the Random House Dictionary as full trust, belief in the powers, trustworthiness or reliability of a person or thing. So confidence can mean believing in yourself, but much more importantly, it means trusting in our God. My journey towards confidence has been far from easy. I'm sure I have doubted my choice of major every single semester. I've constantly wondered if graphic design is my calling or merely a hobby. But I have tried to have faith, trusting that God is leading me according to his will. And we can find assurance in Ephesians 3:12. In him and through faith in him, we may approach God with freedom and confidence. Still, every year the challenges grew more difficult, as I quickly broke my vow of taking it easy in college. My freshman year, I helped manage props for the play, The Boys Next Door, and I even ended up playing a mentally retarded partygoer, a role that required very little acting on my part. At that point, I thought that juggling classes with a demanding play schedule would be my toughest accomplishment. Fast forward to now, and I think my toughest accomplishment was simply finishing the school year without giving up. As a fine arts peer advisor, my advice to incoming freshmen was to get involved. But now I would add a caveat: don't get too involved. Union offers so many leadership and extracurricular activities, and I participated in plenty. Some for my portfolio, some for my resume, some just for fun. But everything quickly snowballed, and I could never truly relax. 3 years as an ASB officer, 4 years as a class officer, Amnesty International, concert wins, clock tower writing and copy editing, Union scholars, accreditation. I don't mean to list off all my accomplishments to you. I mean to tell you that if you thought I had it all together, I didn't, and I don't. I've heard a joke in college that there's sleep, studying, and a social life, and you're allowed to choose two. Or maybe even just one. And I definitely sacrificed my social life here in college. When I did find time to spend with friends, I always had something looming in the back of my head, whether it was a project, a poster, my honors thesis. Summers offered little solace either, as I spent time preparing for the yearbook or the peanut gallery. My stress didn't even stop after my final exams. I just shifted my worrying to this speech. This year and last, I struggled with periods of depression. I wrestled with loneliness, wondering who my friends were. I examined myself to the core, and when I thought I had reached my lowest low, I knelt before God, asking for help, asking for peace. Through this darkness, I believe I discovered who I really am, what I really believe, what love really is, and who my true friends really are. I learned that I must depend on others, and I need to rely on my Father in heaven. Even though I am still tired spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally, and creatively, God takes me as I am. Through it all, I hope I've made an impression at Union, but maybe what I should really hope is that Union has made an impression on me. Even though I originally came here because it was the easy thing to do, my experience has changed me for the better. I have had the privilege of visiting 2 other Seventh-day Adventist colleges during my time here, and those trips just made me love Union even more. At this point in the speech, I thought it would be dramatic to take off my graduation gown, but I didn't know if that would be okay. So just imagine that. I am just a person, like you. I have strengths and weaknesses. I have struggles and successes. But in the end, I can't accomplish anything on my own. I am a sinner, and I need a Savior. Some of you know exactly where you're going after graduation. Others, like me, have no idea. And if anybody out there needs a graphic designer in August, give me a call. It's a scary world out there, but I had to laugh at a recent article from The Onion entitled, "New College Graduates to be Cryogenically Frozen Until Job Market Improves." But I have faith that you will find your passion. Whatever you do, do it confidently. Isaiah 32:17 says, "The fruit of righteousness will be peace. The effect of righteousness will be quietness and confidence forever." I hate goodbyes, so I'll leave you with a favorite quote from Sir Winston Churchill. "This is not the end. It is not even the beginning of the end. but it is perhaps the end of the beginning. Class of 2010, in your careers, continue with confidence, continue with competence, continue with Christ. Thank you.